I want 75 pages, and somebody better get fucked by a toy train. Hello and welcome to another episode of Cheap Smut. My name is Katie Mizell.
And my name is Carl Mizell.
And this is a podcast that will not go gentle into that good night. How are you, honey?
Inspired.
Yeah.
I love that quote.
It is a good one. But how are you for real?
I'm great.
Good.
It's been a really good week. Despite the fact that I have some work travel on the agenda coming up next week, I'm not as anxious as I normally would be.
Mm-hmm.
But I have to go to corporate.
Yeah. Well, you just have to go do trainings.
Yeah.
It's not like it's going to be I mean, it's annoying.
It's a disruption in my routine.
Exactly. It's what we were just talking about earlier today.
Yeah.
Sometimes work is just annoying because they disrupt your flow.
Exactly. Yeah. Of my work that I've gotten used to doing remotely.
Exactly.
But other than that minor blip, I'm going to be flying home early next Friday. And then immediately getting in the car and heading to a wedding, the first wedding of the season. I think it's the only. No, we have two. Because how could I forget? Your sister is getting married. My sister
is getting married this year. Very, very excited for her.
So, but that's way off in the horizon.
And for my future brother-in-law, who just got an incredible full leg piece done.
Oh yeah, it was gorgeous.
It got posted on social medias, and it is fucking beautiful.
Yeah,
I'm gonna need to talk to him about that later.
That was some seriously beautiful work, but that's off in the distance. In the short term, we have another book by another Sinful Signings author.
Yes.
Because as we will be continuing to talk about until the event arrives, we are attending Sinful Signings in Roanoke, Virginia, July 19th and 20th. We are the official podcast of Sinful Signings. We are not the only podcast, though. We are also going to be working with the Blush podcast as well. Yeah. We are going to be collaborating, but they will be there in their own capacity as well. But obviously, when two podcasts are at a smutty podcast or a smutty book convention, we're going to
have to collaborate on something.
You're going to do some shit.
Yeah.
And also we have a couple of, one really big announcement about it that we can't wait to tell you.
Yeah.
That's going to be super exciting. And then another cool announcement that also will hint at another collaboration that will be taking place over the summer that we cannot announce yet, that we are very, very excited for.
We've got a lot of stuff going on is what we're saying.
That's what we're trying to say.
Yes.
Inelegantly as I managed to do. So with all of that out of the way, and with Himbo Jones being just such a boy, what do we have on the agenda for this week? Oh my God, no. Fuck me. How are you?
Thank you for asking. I'm good. I'm pretty good, thank you.
Good. So what was it? I'm kidding.
It's been a rough one for me inside the old noggin again. This is a story that we are going to tell again.
Rough week at the dopamine factory.
For real. The dopamine factory, the serotonin factory, the fucking oxytocin factory caught on fire or something. I don't know. It's all a mess in there. And I have therapy on Monday, and I'm sort of just writing it all down and cataloging it in hopes that I can actually remember to talk about it in therapy, because therapy has that like weird way of making you forget all the shit you wanted to talk about before you went to therapy.
I know. And I realize now that you and I are both takes notes before therapy, or should take notes before therapy people. Yeah. Because I know I go off the rails. You'll be surprised to learn that we digress in therapy too.
Yeah, a lot actually. So much that half of the therapy session is just like random chat. But that's part of building your relationship with your therapist. I have been seeing my current therapist for less than a year, and that is a pretty standard, like, we're still feeling each other out, kind of.
The weirdest part for me is I list all of the Patreon patrons at the end of our sessions.
That was a terrible joke. It was terrible.
We'll leave it in and let. We'll leave it in and let the people decide.
What I was going to say is I have taken all kinds of shit to my therapists. I have seen several over the years, and so if you are the kind of person who writes notes for therapy, I am that person. I have screenshotted poems to share with my therapist. I have saved videos from TikTok to share with my therapist. I have actually like taken pictures of my own art to take to therapy to show my therapist. I love sharing shit with my therapist.
I'm laughing because I'm so the opposite. I'm the therapy equivalent. You know, like in a movie when like the scrappy business owner that owns the boxing gym or whatever, like they're trying to save the gym, and he goes to his accountant and he's just got like a plastic grocery
like
bag of receipts.
Yeah.
Like that's how I
Your
roll
bag full
up.
of receipts guy. Oh, I'm
I just dump it out on their desk and go, I don't know, you figured it.
I'm that, but hot goth chick version. I don't know. I am basically that. I'm not saying like I take well curated notes. I'm just saying like this poem made me cry, and then I show it to her.
I suppose it could be argued that you're doing the same thing that I'm doing. You just have like
a wider assortment of things.
Mixed media.
Yeah.
your therapy is a mixed
media communication. That's what I do. Yeah, it is. That's how I get myself across. When I was still working a desk job, when I was working at the billing firm for the hospital, I worked in the department that just did accounts, like accounting. I didn't answer phones or anything, and my entire cubicle was covered in Post-it notes of song lyrics, because I would sit and listen to music all day while I was doing my like spreadsheeting and typing and all that shit, and I would be inspired by a random song lyric, and I would have to stop and make like a little doodled up cute song lyric thing and put it on my cubicle wall.
I remember that.
It was mixed media insanity. Everybody was like, what is this? What are you doing? I'm like, oh, song lyrics. It's just song lyrics I like.
You wouldn't understand.
You wouldn't understand it. I also had a book that was just full of columns of random numbers, because I would just have to write numbers down so that I could remember them and type them in the right places. But it looked like an insane person's book of ramblings. It was just columns of numbers.
Katie's not okay.
I've never once in my life been okay.
No, but I just meant like if somebody saw that book of numbers.
Oh, I'm pretty sure people in that office thought I was insane. Like they thought I was like Howard Hughes, because I could type ridiculously stupidly fast as well. So I would just be sitting there clacking like an absolute lunatic.
Yeah, you're like 110 or higher.
At my peak speed, I can type 150.
Okay.
But when it was just doing numbers on the 10 key, way faster.
Yeah.
10 key, enter tab, 10 key, enter tab, over and over and over and over again. I could do that shit in my sleep, and people were like, what the hell? She's not human.
The first time when we first started dating, I thought you were fucking just pretending.
Yeah, everybody thinks I'm just
smacking
the keyboard,
like
pretending to type really fast. Exactly. Nope. I have gotten better now, because I type on a keyboard that is a laptop keyboard, as opposed to my old mechanical, which was extra loud. And also, I now always have these nails, which have forced me to change my typing posture, my finger posture when I type. So I'm not so aggressive anymore.
Wow.
Yeah.
We went on a journey.
We did.
We went on a journey.
Well, you know what? People keep saying they love the digressions.
But I'm not cutting it.
No, don't cut it.
I'm not cutting it.
Don't cut it.
Because it's only been like 9 minutes. It's fine. So with all that out of the way, this is usually 9 minutes. We're getting all this stuff out of the way.
Yeah.
This is
host banter.
This is host banter.
This is normal podcast material.
This is if we bumped into you on the street, this is what we would say to you. Mm-hmm. Literally all of it, word for word. Not really.
I can't guarantee I wouldn't go on a 5-minute rant about typing.
That's true.
Like I might, because I'm fucking weird.
But we're not going to do that anymore. We are going to get on with the show.
Yes.
And with all that said, what do we have for the listeners this week?
This week, since I didn't actually announce it last week because I hadn't picked the book, I'm sorry, listeners who like to read it in advance. This week, I read Concussion Protocol by Rebecca Rathe. Rathe. I think it's pronounced Rath. Concussion Protocol is a sports romance.
I would hope so.
Yeah. And I thought it was related to a massive series of sports romances that Rebecca also writes, but it's not. It's independent, completely standalone. You need no information going into this. And it's a pretty fluffy novella, so you don't really need a whole lot of brain cells either. And I really appreciate Rebecca for just giving this gift to me of a lovely book that didn't take a lot of energy and was quite delightful.
This book at this time in my life right now is what I need.
It's exactly what I need. And I will hug her if she wants one. Yeah. But so she does have, if you like this book or if you like the story I'm about to tell you and you want more of same but way darker and angstier because they're long form, Rebecca Rath's Forbidden Goals series is going to be what you seek. However, she's also known for writing some really fantastic fantasy and urban fantasy or urban paranormal. I couldn't think of the word paranormal for some fucking reason. Fantasy and paranormal mysteries are the other two that she writes. Jesus Christ, Catherine. So she also has the Prodigy duet, which is an MMFMMM Why Choose.
Yeah.
Yep. It looks like genetic experimentation and shady scientists, maybe.
It sounds like you're trying to stifle a laugh.
No, it just means that there's a lot of dudes and they all like her. And then if you prefer more fantasy, less paranormal or less urban, then there is the Binding trilogy, which is an MMFM paranormal romance with magic, and it is a dark, slow burn, 3-part, each book ends on a cliffhanger. Ooh. Kind of like get into the meat of it series. I'm not a big fan of series like that, but I am almost nearly entirely alone in that. I accept this about myself.
You've learned that you're in the distinct minority of this group here.
Yeah. Most people are like, oh God, I really want a nice, like, long fantasy series or urban series or paranormal series to really, really sink my teeth into. And I'm just like, I want 75 pages and somebody better get fucked by a toy train. That's what I'm here for.
I'm here for cold opens.
But no toy trains in this case, I will say. So Concussion Protocol by Rebecca Rathe is available for $2.99 or through Kindle Unlimited. It is ebook only. I couldn't find a print edition, and I don't think that one exists. For our triple T's this week, triggers: vomit, blood, and the gross stuff that happens in the ER. Character with a head injury, medically induced altered state. Character is loopy from the medication. Questionable medical ethics and mild violence. Our tropes: this is an cis Achillean romance, sports romance, rugby player, medical romance, ER nurse, ex-boyfriend's coworker, bi awakening, and caring for the injured.
Whoa.
Yeah.
A lot going on.
Yeah. And our titillations: oral sex, anal sex, and to quote directly from the trigger page, a moment of weakness that turns out to be so much more. So there you go.
At least, and I love that this book meets the minimum Smutco Industries requirement of at least 2 sex things.
At least 2 sex things. Thank you for coming to another episode of Cheap Smut, where we do guarantee at least 2 sex things will probably be discussed in this episode.
Every book has at least 2 sex things.
2 sex things. Unless we're reading an asexual book, in which case it has no sex things, but in exchange you get double the dad jokes. So we dive right in with our first MMC. His name is Shane. Shane is mostly not described. He is a man with brown hair, an athletic build, and average height.
Okay. Could be anybody.
Could be. He's quite possibly Luigi Mangione in disguise, for all I fucking know.
Just a sexy tabula rasa.
So Shane works as an ER nurse, and the book opens with him coming to the end of his third double in a row. And he's like, this double is damn near a triple at this point. He's here hours past when he was supposed to be, but he's a nurse, and nurses just keep fucking going. So when he comes to the end of his shift, he's like, I am determined to go home. Tomorrow is my only day off. I will not miss it. And then his charge nurse, Regina, comes up to him and she's like, hey buddy, remember how I'm your favorite? And he's like, no, away with you, demon. She says, okay, so I promise you can go home after you discharge the guy in curtain 6, but she just got projectile vomited on and she needs to go change, and they're already understaffed, and please. So, okay, fine. He goes to curtain 6. He announces his presence, and then he pulls the curtain back, and he is immediately met with an absolutely fantastic bare ass. A man's bare ass. And the ass is attached to an equally gorgeous dude who, it turns out, is still very woozy and out of it from the meds that he was given before his head CT. I'm guessing probably some kind of benzo to keep him relaxed. So he's trying to get out of bed on his own, and he can't manage it. And he starts to fall forward. So this guy has had a head injury of some kind. The CT has ruled out a contusion, but he's got a concussion. He's way the fuck out of it. He falls forward, and Shane manages to catch him, but in the process of catching him, his IV tube gets caught and it gets pulled out of his arm, and it's just like this whole horrible comedy of errors. But eventually Shane gets him settled, sat down, resituated, and then he starts caring for him and doing his job. He cleans up the mess, the tubing and everything from the IV. He gets his arm all bandaged up, and then as he is working through all of this, the patient just sort of smiles at him in this half there sort of haze. He introduces himself again because he probably didn't hear him the first time that he said, hello, my name is Shane, because he was too busy, having bare ass out. So he introduces himself again, and this guy calls him pretty. He calls him Pretty Shane, and he's like, okay, that's just the meds talking, whatever. But he's just this sweet puppy dog of a guy. So once the chaos has all been sorted, Shane, like I said, he has reintroduced himself, and he keeps calling this patient Mr. Winton, because that's what it says on the chart, Winton, J. And the guy says, please call me John. And that makes Shane stop short, because that name sounds familiar. Holy fuck, you are John Winton, the amateur rugby player. Holy shit.
This is a big deal.
So this is our second MMC, John Winton.
Yeah.
He's a big, beefy rugby boy, total himbo, mostly not described beyond gorgeous, and I'm pretty sure he has a number of abs visible,
Probably.
Standard book boyfriend model, rugby edition, I guess, bigger, beefier. So he plays for the local amateur rugby team, the Quayville Hornets, which wouldn't be such a big deal, except they are catching like national attention right now because TikTok is thirsty as fuck for rugby players. And so they've been getting a lot of like viral attention on TikTok. But the main reason why Shane knows who John is because Shane used to date a member of the Quayville Hornets, his shitty ex-boyfriend, Eric.
Okay.
So because Eric was a cheating, lying jerk who treated Shane like crap, that has made him now swear off ever dating a rugby player or perhaps an athlete ever again.
Just paint them all with a very broad brush.
Exactly. And that is what he is clinging to right now, because even though this guy is gorgeous and sweet and like a little bit loopy on benzos, so he's kind of
and concussed,
stupid and adorable in that, like, lug nut kind of way. He's like, I am a professional. I am a professional. This is my job. He's a rugby player. I don't do rugby players. Like, he's just trying to white knuckle his way through this. He helps John to stand. They go to the bathroom, etc. They do all of the things that they need to do before he gets discharged. But eventually he needs to help him get dressed because he still can't bend over without potentially falling. John seems distressed by the prospect of Shane helping him dress, and Shane thinks that it's because he's a man, and so he offers to go get a different nurse to help him, but John's like, no, it's fine. So he just clenches his jaw, and Shane starts to help him dress. So he kneels down in front of him to help him step into his underwear. He pulls them up, and Lord, would you know it, there's a huge erection in front of him.
Of course, yeah. There's duh.
Yes, but of course he is a professional. Again, he is a professional. He is a professional. He just keeps repeating that to himself inside his own head, right?
I'm going to use two hands.
He gets the briefs up, I think like basketball shorts, helps him get his socks and shoes on. And then he makes the mistake of looking up at the guy, and they make eye contact. And the look on John's face has Shane going, oh, wait, is this guy gay? Like, oh my, because the look on his face is like melting. At that point, he's like, oh no, I have to stand up. I have to stand up now, because if I don't, I'm going to do something stupid and I'm on the clock. So he keeps his composure, his professionalism. He gets him all taken care of, and then he runs out of that curtain. Like, he runs. He's just like, somebody will come for your discharge papers. Bye.
But it won't be me.
It won't be me. And as soon as he gets outside the curtain, he is stopped by Regina once again,
who has gotten projectile vomited on again.
No.
Would you believe it?
Well, so she's all cleaned up, and he's like, I'm leaving. Goodbye. I'm leaving. I have to go. Like, I can't. She's like, you just need to finish the discharge, man. Just get the discharge paperwork, finish it up, and you can go home. And he's like, I will do any other chart. I'll do anything else, please. And she's like, the only other thing I have right now is, she describes what's going to end up being a pediatric appendectomy. And he's like, I can't, no, because that'll be hours, and I'll want to stay with the kid. I can't, fine, I will discharge the hottie, okay? And Regina's like, have fun. And that's when you realize that she's scheming right now. She's like, you like hot rugby players. That's a hot rugby player. I'm doing you a favor.
Thanks. The concussed, high on drugs rugby player.
So John, as it turns out, does not have a ride home. Like, a teammate brought him here after he got hit, but they didn't realize that they had to stay. And he can't drive.
Oh, we don't do staying.
I think it's more along the lines of, oh, was I supposed to stay, bro? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like,
no, I got a Madden tournament. I got to go home.
So he isn't supposed to drive, and he isn't supposed to be alone for the next 24 hours because he had a pretty major head injury. So they can't just let him go. But he says that he has a roommate. So technically they could put him in an Uber, and he would not be alone, and then he could get to his apartment and his roommate would be there. But that's not really something that Shane is comfortable doing. He's not comfortable just letting a patient go home in an Uber.
Nor should he.
And Regina, being the scheming bitch that she is, God bless her, suggests that Shane just drive John home.
Of course.
Because
that's normal.
you're leaving anyway. Once you discharge this guy, you're ending your shift. So why don't you just drive him home? You know him because he's already explained to her that he knows him from the rugby team, and he's Eric's coworker, and this is really there's something going on between them, and it's awkward, and he doesn't know what to do.
In my tummy.
Yeah, and she's just like, drive the hot guy home, Shane. Drive him home. So that's exactly what they end up doing. The ride is mostly silent, but the only thing they do talk about is John is like, Eric's an idiot. He felt like he needed to say it. He needed to say something, but he didn't know what to say. And Shane's just like, yeah, you didn't. I know. I was aware.
No shit.
Yeah. But it was just he just needed to. Yeah. I'm on your side. Don't worry about. him being my teammate.
I hated him before it was cool.
Yeah. When they get to his apartment building, John tries to just get out of the car and leave. But that's when Shane realizes that John does not live on the first floor of this building. He lives in a third floor walk up.
Oh, boy.
With stairs on the outside of the building that are like super steep and metal. And it's raining right now. And there's just like absolutely no way he can let this guy walk up 3 flights of stairs in the rain right now. So he eventually gets out of the car, helps him out, and they start walking up the stairs. And it's pretty immediately obvious that it was going to be really hard for John to manage this on his own. So it's a good thing that Shane is still here.
Yeah. Helping and not getting paid for it.
Yeah, not exactly helping and not getting paid for it. But at this point, I think it's more about having a crush on the dude. But still, though, anyway, once they get inside his apartment, it becomes very quickly clear that John does not actually have a roommate. He just didn't want them to worry.
So I will lie to you.
I will lie and possibly die alone in my apartment. So Shane's like, okay, so you have a girlfriend then. She's coming over to check in on you. No girlfriend either. But I'm fine. You can just go.
It's just a concussion.
It's just, head injury that required imaging. It's just, my pupils were 2 different sizes, but it was only for a couple of minutes.
Everybody gets one.
Coach says it's all right to bleed from the ears. Like, come on.
As long as it's not a clear fluid.
So John's got a headache because climbing all of those stairs was really hard on him. Shane goes to the kitchen to get him some acetaminophen. And John's like, no, I don't want to take anything else because I don't want to do anything stupid like get another boner. I don't.
Notorious side effect of acetaminophen.
Yeah. Well, Shane's like, okay, so it's acetaminophen, and that's not gonna. You just have a headache, buddy. You'll be fine. But again, he's a big dumb himbo. God bless him. And he's on something, probably Xanax right now. And a lot of it because he's a big dude. So they pumped him full of it, I'm sure. Anyway,
got the big pills.
Eventually, Shane's like, okay, you know what? I'm staying here. I know you enough. I'll sleep on your couch and make sure you don't have a seizure at 2 a.m. basically. And then I will go home in the morning. But tomorrow is my day off and I'm not staying here for that. So he goes to help John get into bed, strips him down to his underwear and just kind of throws him into the bed, and he passes out right there. And then because he's full of anxious energy and he just got off of a long shift, he goes out and he cleans the guy's entire kitchen. Yeah.
I would do the exact same thing. Like if I was anxious in a stranger's home.
Yes, exactly.
That's if you need your house cleaned.
Yeah.
Just kidnap me and then just set me free in your kitchen. That shit'll get so clean.
Oh, it will. It'll get super clean. Can't guarantee that he won't then break stuff if you don't let him out afterwards.
I will be rather cross.
Yeah.
If I did all this work.
Yeah.
And you didn't even let me go.
And you didn't even let him go. Exactly. Like, what do you mean I have to stay? Clean it again? What? No, fuck you. And then he starts breaking dishes. Yep. Oppa. Once he's done cleaning the kitchen, he's texted Regina to like let her know what's going on, just to like, I don't know, bitch a little bit. Like, I'm stuck in this guy's apartment now and this is your fault. And she's like, I'm sure. I'm sure you're just dying.
Yeah.
It's the end of the world. And then he goes back into John's bedroom to just check on him, make sure he's still breathing. And as soon as he gets too close, he kind of wakes John up. But he's super out of it. And he's just like, yeah, you're still here. Hey, buddy. And he says, Shane's like, yeah, I'm just checking on you. I'm going to go sleep on your couch. And then John grabs him and pulls him down onto the bed. And he's like, no, you should take the bed. I sleep on the couch. It's fine. You take the bed. You're... And he just falls right back asleep again. He has no intention of actually getting out of the bed to go sleep on the couch.
And Shane's basically a teddy bear now.
Yeah, and Shane is sort of trapped. a teddy bear style under this fully sedated rugby player. So he just falls asleep there. Like once he's on the comfy bed and all of the exhaustion hits him, it's not like he wants to fight his way out anyway. So he just falls asleep. And now we are going to pause for what would normally be our brief description of long books, but this week I don't have a long book to describe for you. Instead, I just wanted to take a moment and really focus on Rebecca Rathe and her fundraising work for the LGBT community. She has a page on her website dedicated to her work in fundraising where she posts all of the receipts. Go to RebeccaRathe.com/doingthework to see all of that for yourself. But so 100% of her pre-orders and all proceeds from dedicated projects like this one, Concussion Protocol is one of them, will be donated to various organizations in 2025. So in 2025, she set the goal of donating $10,000. And as of now, she is posting receipts showing donations totaling $14,000 of her now $20,000 goal, because she had to double that goal after hitting it in less than 5 months.
Jeez.
Which is so fucking dope. So she has made donations, again, totaling over $14,000 to the Trevor Project, the ACLU of North Carolina Legal Fund, the Human Rights Foundation, and the LGBT Center of Raleigh. All of that, again, is proceeds from various dedicated projects and all of her pre-orders for the entire year of 2025. She's putting her money where her mouth is. I am proud to be supporting her in even this small way, and I look forward to meeting her at Sinful so I can tell her how fucking awesome I think she is.
No shit. Fucking A.
And now we will get back to our awesome story. The next morning, they wake up. John wakes up first, and he's still kind of groggy and out of it, doesn't really remember what happened last night, but he knows that he's spooning a body. So he just does that thing that you do where he starts kissing up the nape and he starts running his hands up the torso. He assumes he went to bed with a woman last night. Like, this is the normal arrangement for him. So he woke up next to a body. He assumes he went to bed with a woman, and then he realizes that he is definitely groping a dude's chest, and he stops, and everything kind of flashes into focus for him, and he's like, oh shit, it's Shane. And Shane's like, I'm gonna go now, because he assumes that John is going to be uncomfortable now that he realizes that he's been spooning with a dude.
But I heard the triple T's.
Yeah. So Shane is super apologetic for being in John's bed. And John's like, no, I'm the one who should be sorry for like holding you hostage and feeling you up in your sleep. I'm really sorry. But again, he said should be sorry. He's not actually sorry for doing that.
But Mitch, you didn't actually say you're sorry.
Lynn said I should apologize.
R.I.P. Mitch Hedberg.
So John is a bi-curious person. He is a himbo, and he's never had a problem with the ladies, so he's never really taken the time to figure out the dude part of it, but he's really into Shane.
He backburnered that bisexuality.
Yeah, he really did. I mean, a lot of folks do, Mr. I found out that I was bisexual at 45.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No, a lot of stuff making sense now.
Yeah, some shit just sort of
started clicking.
Yeah. Suddenly it's like you can hear the whole symphony.
Huh. Okay.
Wow. All right. So Shane, again, is a professional, and he starts asking John questions to assess his health and well-being, to like kind of distance himself from this moment a little bit, because pretty boy holding me in bed, like he's losing his mind a little bit. Once they have established that John is like, his general awkward himbo-ness is a feature, not a bug, that he's not like fritzing out in the brain right now, Shane packs up to head home. Again, it's his only day off, and he has big plans. Those plans are take a shower, eat lasagna, and watch trash television in his underwear, and he cannot cancel that. It's important. He writes his number on John's kitchen whiteboard, just in case, like, if you think anything is wrong, just call me. And then he leaves.
I would abuse it immediately.
He does abuse it immediately.
Good.
So as soon as Shane is gone, John sort of goes around his apartment, lost like a puppy because Shane's gone. And he finds his fully cleaned kitchen. And he's like, this guy came off a double, drove my dumbass home and cleaned my kitchen. Like, who does that? What the?
Who even does that?
Why? This is like who are you, an angel come to life? Like, what the fuck, right? And then he finds a bottle of Gatorade and a bottle of acetaminophen that Shane has left out for him for his headache, except Shane has very graciously changed the label of the acetaminophen to say boner pills.
I was gonna make that joke earlier.
So he texts Shane immediately, boner pills, really? And so they start talking. So like 6 text messages and 1 phone call later, he has charmed Shane right back up those stairs to come and eat lasagna and watch trash TV in their underwear, because that's what Shane was planning on doing. And Shane's like, I'm disgusting. And he's like, I have a shower. Turns out they have them in most apartments. And you can come up and use mine if you want.
Indoor plumbing?
In this economy?
The hell you say?
So Shane comes back up the stairs and he finds John waiting in his doorframe in his underwear. And he manages to play it off like, oh, you said in your underwear. It seemed really important. And as opposed to, I was so excited that you were coming back that I forgot to put on pants, which is what actually happened.
Yeah.
Again, he's such a fucking himbo. So Shane goes to take a shower. John, whose wonderful mother constantly fills his freezer with food, John's mother has left a lasagna, so he pops a lasagna into the oven, so he can even check that off of Shane's list. He's like, I got lasagna, I got trash TV, I'm already in my underwear. Like,
I got all the stuff right here.
Hey, and then he puts on some sweatpants because I'm not gonna actually wander around in my jock all day. Like, that's coming on a little strong. But when Shane comes out of the bathroom, he's only in his underwear, and he's like, I thought you were really into the underwear thing, and he just drops them again. He's like, yep, okay, this is what we're doing.
They
then
explode off of
him.
it.
Bruce Almighty. And it is immediately evident, of course, that John is hard again, right? Yeah. He's got a hard on immediately. They kind of stare at each other for a second. They're not really sure how to proceed.
Yes, they are.
So Shane's like, John, are you straight? And he shakes his head. Are you bi, pan? He's like, I don't know. I never really figured it out, but I'm not straight. Like, I've always known that. And I've never really thought to pursue a man until you. And I've kind of always been attracted to you, but you were Eric's boyfriend, so I left you alone. But now you're not. And you're here and you're in your underwear. So we'll just go with that. At this point, they're basically drawn together like magnets. And so Shane steps into John's personal space, kind of touches his chest and like lets his hands wander. And John is losing his shit. He's just being touched by this guy is a lot more arousing than any other sexual experience he's probably ever had. So they lean into it, and this becomes a blowjob scene.
Right.
So Shane sucks John's cock. Welcome to the Big Dick Club, John. It's not huge or anything, but he's a big guy, and it is proportionally large. So this started out as like a hesitant and gentle blowjob by Shane, but
it was very aggressive
because it was like, okay, this is this guy's first blowjob from a dude. Like, I'm gonna ease into this, but he's also like, he's double platinumed blowjobs, so he can do all the stuff, right? He's unlocked all of the stuff. So eventually it does become a lot rougher. John starts fucking his throat. There is tear streaming. There is gagging. It is intense as fuck, but they both have a really fantastic time. And when they're all done, John comes in his mouth and he swallows and he's like, oh my God. I think that might be the first time anyone's ever done that for him. So, life altered. And then he pulls Shane up and they kiss. They have their first kiss after that. And then John carries Shane to the bedroom where, much to everyone's surprise, including mine, he then sucks Shane's dick.
Hey.
Yeah. Zero hesitation. He dove right in. And like, that's an athlete for you, really. Because once they set a goal, they just achieve, right? Like that's their personality. That's John. He's just like, I'm gonna suck that dick, and then he did it.
How can it be?
Then he goes further south and gives Shane a rim job.
Hey, now, careful.
Seriously, I was like, someone should send this man like, I don't know, a Starbucks gift card, edible arrangement, something for his efforts.
Yeah, thank you card.
He tried real hard. He just it's like a brownie. I don't know, something. So eventually the tongue is not enough and Shane needs fingers, and then the fingers are not enough and Shane wants to get fucked. Thankfully they have all the stuff right here, condoms, lube, everything. So Shane rides John, and it is awesome, obviously fantastic. And then once Shane comes, once he's done, John flips them over and then just, makes the entire bed shake kind of situation, until they are both just a sweating, panting mess in the bed, and everybody is happy and satisfied, and then they cuddle up together. And Shane is awkward again because he doesn't know what to do at this point. He's like, should I be cuddling? Should I be not cuddling? Like, is
this violating HIPAA?
Yeah. I mean, the medical ethics, I don't know. Nurse-patient privilege, I'm not sure how that works. But he's just more like, okay, straight guy, not straight guy.
Not straight.
I don't know if he wants me to cuddle or not, but he's a massive cuddler, and he wants to snuggle. So that's what they do. And then they eat lasagna and watch reruns of Finding Bigfoot. Sounds awesome. We do a time jump. 2 months later, John shows up at the ER again, but this time with a laceration to his forehead, and that is because Eric saw John and Shane fogging up the back of Shane's car when he was dropping him off at practice recently, and Eric did that whole like macho jealous ex-boyfriend thing and sucker punched John.
Jesus. Assaulted John.
Yeah, he got one punch in, and then John just like palmed his forehead and held him back and was like, you sad man. Really, just like, he didn't hit him back, you just humiliated him, and that works so much better. And so he has come into the ER to get treatment, and Shane is his nurse, and they agree that he should probably come over after his shift, just because it's a head injury. Concussion protocol is important.
And this is part of it now.
Yeah, it is. And so then we have another time jump 4 months later. The Quayville Hornets win their game. What game? I don't know. John runs the ball over the try line and then runs directly to Shane and like spins him around and does a big kiss, and it's so cute. They go out with the team to celebrate, and then they go back to John's apartment where they kind of stumble up the stairs, and John complains about the damn steep stairs on the outside of his building. And Shane's like, hey, I thought you were going to like maybe look at townhomes. Have you considered? And John says, only if you will move in with me. I know it's fast, but it was in this case, in the world of cheap smut, John,
4 months?
6 months.
Oh, 6 months.
It's been 6 months.
Oh yeah.
That is not fast at all. That's a perfectly reasonable amount of time. I mean, beyond like the Insta loves that we read where they are like the moment they meet, they never separate again. We moved in together after like a week.
Yeah.
So we can't judge nobody.
No, we cannot.
Not at all. So John invites Shane to come and live with him because he loves him. Now, John would also love to be proposing at this moment and all of that stuff, but he knows that Shane would freak out if he actually did that at this moment. So he's just taking things at the pace that he knows Shane is comfortable with. He tells Shane that he loves him. This is the first I love you. Shane says, I love you back. And then they head to the bedroom to celebrate, where John throws himself on the bed like an excited himbo and hits his head on the headboard. The end. And that was Concussion Protocol. Thank you so much.
Next time jump, he's donating his body to science.
Seriously.
To study the CTE we know he got.
Yeah. Next time jump, 47 years later, Shane crying because his husband's deterioration, because CTE is a serious medical condition that has not been studied enough.
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't mean to get dark there, but I have real opinions about head injuries and athletes.
Yeah.
And I could go off about it, but I won't.
Yeah. As somebody who's had several myself, it's the studying of that is something that I'm into.
Hey, nice job.
Thank you.
Good job.
What are you into?
What am I into?
What are you into?
That is a good question. I'm going to hit you with a curveball here. Let's go with Gold Diggers, The Secret of Bear Mountain, which is a movie from 1995 starring Christina Ricci. And I was reminded of it today while scrolling the internet. And it was like one of those moments in a film where everything pulls out wide really quick and you suddenly have a third eye moment.
Yeah.
It was like that. Because I'd forgotten that this movie existed. And then the moment I remembered that it existed, I got shoved back in time to a queer awakening. That movie was one of my queer awakenings. And I didn't remember it until this moment. So there you go. It's a great movie. It was made in 1995, like I said, but it's set in 1980. So it's even further back. And it's about Christina Ricci is like a city girl who moves to the country. And then she meets a girl who's like the town outcast, and they become good friends. Anna Chlumsky. I forgot about her.
Yeah.
Love her. So they become like best friends, and they go up into the mountains to try and find gold. And it's this like girl empowerment story, but it was also a lesbian crush story, because you can definitely see the queer elements in there. It made me happy and nostalgic, and I'm into it. What are you into, baby?
Well, as a side note, I would argue that what we were talking about a minute ago about my latent queerness, a film that you could retroactively say was probably one of my earliest queer awakenings, came out in 1995 as well.
Oh, yeah?
A different generation, different genre, but Empire Records. There's some bisexual confusion going both ways.
Yeah. You and, Liz, right?
In the movie?
Yeah.
Liz or Liv?
Liv. Sorry.
Well, I mean, Liv Tyler.
I'm just trying to think of the people in that movie that
Renee,
I know.
Renee Zellweger, young Ethan Embry.
Ethan Embry.
The actor who, Rory Cochrane, who plays Lucas. Lots of attractive
Rex
people.
Manning.
Rex Manning,
obviously.
of course. Anthony LaPaglia.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Debbie Mazar.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's not what I'm into, but I just want to throw that out there because you said it, and I was like, oh, mine came out in 1995 too. I'm going to keep it way more simple and just say Murderbot.
Murderbot, yeah.
Murderbot is perfect. Murderbot is everything.
Yep.
Murderbot is life.
Yeah.
Murderbot is so good. Murderbot is me.
Murderbot is so many people.
I know.
That's why so many people.
There are so many people. I
identify so well with it.
Oh, there were several times where he just says like, "My brain."
Yeah.
It's just
my brain.
Yeah, my brain.
I am gonna go ahead and correct you that the character Murderbot, its pronouns are it.
Yes. Thank you for correcting me.
Yeah.
It
doesn't identify with humanity.
Yes, that is an important distinction.
Yeah.
And thank you for making that correction because A, it's important, and B, it comes up throughout the course of the show.
Mm-hmm.
And also, if you're one of these people who thinks you're smarter than the show because you haven't read the books,
mm-hmm.
and before it's even been brought up, and you're like, well, why does Murderbot have such a handsome face?
Mm-hmm.
Give it a minute.
Yeah.
Give it a minute.
Give it a minute. It's totally worth it. And it is, it's a change from the original book because the first season is going to be, I think, Rogue Protocol.
I think it's all Systems Red. Like the first book. Isn't book one All Systems Red?
Is it All Systems Red or is it Rogue Protocol? I can't remember. Either way,
yeah.
book one.
Book one will be season one.
And in that book, Murderbot has no face.
Right.
It does not at that point have a face. It doesn't get a face until it has to blend in. And that's not until book 2. But when it gets a face, it hates its face because it's a handsome face. And handsome faces bring attention. And it doesn't like people looking at it.
Yeah.
So the idea that Murderbot is the hot Skarsgård guy. Which one? There's so many.
Alexander.
Thank you. So many Skarsgårds. The idea that Murderbot is that guy is so funny.
Yeah.
On such a deep level. If you don't appreciate that, then this might not be the show for you even.
But
anyway,
it's
I'm sorry.
it's
I hate to hijack.
No, God, no. It's a really good show, and it's got those amazing opening credits that are just awesome. So
yes,
I'm into Murderbot. That's
Hooray.
that's what I'm into.
We do love a Murderbot.
Indeed. What I also love is when you tell me what we're going to be reading next week.
Next week, I am going to read Their Goddess by Sabrina G.
Their Goddess by Sabrina G. So and I assume, like with everybody else, Sabrina G is an attending author at Sinful Signings.
Yes, she is. I hope I will correct that next week if I have to. But yes, Sabrina is an attending author at Sinful, and Their Goddess is a menage romance. And I'm very much looking forward to reading it.
And I am looking forward to hearing it. But in the meantime, you can find us on social media. We are on Instagram, TikTok, Blue Sky, Threads, all that good stuff. All the links to that are in the link tree, which is down there in the show notes. If you would like to communicate with us via email, please do so. cheapsmutpod@gmail.com. As always, you can find a link to this book down in the show notes. Also on the top link of the link tree, once this episode hits the main feed. As always, it is not an affiliate link. We do not get any money for it. We're just trying to help the authors out. If you would like to support us financially, you can do so on Patreon for as little as $1 a month, like these fine folks have. Jenny Allen, Catherine Zofrea, Tara Tappan, Katie Shepard, Lindsay Rain, Eden Knox, Zach, Zoe Barrett, Emily Purley, Aaron Manak, Miss Chris, Raven, Natasha Bear, Desiree Rodriguez, Local Mind Flayer Seattle number 42, Vincent Sultanfuss, Kitsune Inc., Cassie, Cassandra, Brian S., April D. Berry, Dana Goddard, Stephanie Hawkins, Gemma, Lady Squishy Buns, Tia Esk, Rob Gatika, Angela McNichols, Katie Hurd, Gwendolyn Harper, Seneca O., and Rebecca K. The music that you hear in this and every episode is called Storytime by me, aka Mated Fates.
Listener, remember, if there's a book in you, write it. And if there's fucking in it, I'll read it.
And then she will come on this show and explain it to me for your entertainment.
Goodbye.